Video. My name is Leslie Ohnstad. I'm the creator of Color Art Products. I'm the host of ColorPlay Live 3 days a week, Tuesdays and Fridays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and Saturdays at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now let's see if we can all get in the room together when you guys come in. I do see it for today's date now. No, that's the wrong one. Come on, let me in. View my channel. Somebody's watching, so someone found me. Yeah, and it actually says Red Live on it. Okay, I see Catherine's here. I see Sandy is in here. I can see you guys in here. Looks like it's working. Hopefully everybody, we're going to give everybody a couple minutes to move over here. Sorry about that. It was weird when we put it on. It was, what was odd. Hi, Sally. Thanks for joining us. What was odd is when we started the other live, that's going to confuse people. I need to somehow go erase that thing. Okay, Hazel, hold on. We'll let John Lee know. John N know. Give me 1 minute. John Niedmeyer's got the list. John, if you're over here yet. Hi, Donna. How you doing? I don't think John's in the room yet, Hazel. We had to move over here. Hi, Pam. Dee Lee, you made it back today. Kathleen McGade, nice to see you guys. Hi, John. We just got a message from Hazel. She wants to add, pick a forest green. So if you could, sorry that it's buffering, but if you could, at your earliest convenience, add a forest green for Hazel, or at least Kathleen and Catherine, our moderators today, and we need to celebrate these guys, is Kathleen McGee, Catherine Mefford, and John N. And Hell's Bells. You're off today? Oh, wow. Sandy's off today. So hopefully everybody's moved in from the other room. But girls, write that down for Hazel that she wants one. Hi, Janelle. She wants one forest green. Okay. So we're back today with part 2 of the H2O event. Quick story. Mallory, baby, will you just hopefully moderators read what Sally just said, because I'm going to tell my story right now. So the 20 years ago, we launched the Twinkling H2Os, and it was in 2004. And one of the best products we ever made in the history of the company, if it hadn't been the whole fluid art market really taking hold. I made a decision at the end of 19 that we needed to focus on the fluid art market, and not that much people were doing mixed media art or any kind of watercolor art. And so we phased them out in 2019, but in 2004 we launched them. 2005, Priscilla Hauser, founder of Decorative Arts, is the founders of the Society of Decorative Painters, asked us to make these custom size giant watercolor pots, big 30 ml jars. The average size, now what you normally get, I don't have the little ones here. What you normally get is a half pan is about 3 grams. A full pan, there is one more autumn butternut, guys. There is one more autumn butternut. So there is one for the list, unless someone just took it now. Anyway, the half pan watercolors that most watercolor people use, yes, you can, Pam, but let's get the ball rolling. Everybody hold on to what you want. Let me get my little spiel out, and then you can start posting for the moderators. So the 3 grams is about the size of a little half pan. A full pan runs anywhere from 5 to 7, depending upon the company. We did our watercolors in what it's basically a 10-gram jar, but she commissioned us to do it in these big honkin' 30 mils. This is wet, or I would turn it over and let you see the face of it. But she had these make these. Now, they are all made out of primary elements. We were using them. If anything, that is like the testament that primary elements are not a mica powder. They're a dry paint system. There's actually ground color in them. You would not get these unbelievable colors like kiwi in a mica powder. They just don't make them. So uh, I've been holding on to these. I've had these in my garage for a long time. March 9th, I did a little presentation of we want to move forward with making the Twinkling H2O. I was hoping spring. It'll be more like summer once they're done. And people started asking me, but we want the garage watercolors. So I went out a few days ago and counted what we have, and we have an inventory list of what we've got left. Now, the moderators and I had meetings this morning. I got all my cakes reorganized again so we can go right down the line. Some of the colors I showed yesterday, I'm going to show again today because they didn't really have enough water in there to be stirred up. So you couldn't see how beautiful the pink anthurium was. It didn't really do it justice. And whoever got the autumn butternut, I just stirred it up for you. So you're a lucky person because it's a beautiful color. Now, people have been asking me how to use these. And so as soon as they hear a word watercolor and uh, yeah, but you can put it in, take your time and put it in a complete string, Pam, and then just let them read it and the moderators will grab it. So think of this as just another paint, but the binder is gum instead of acrylic. And if you want to reawaken it or do a little more to it, you can. It's water soluble. Where while acrylic is water soluble, once that acrylic is hard, it's hard. You're not going to be able to change anything. Now, a lot of you have been following along with this piece I started with the neon. Actually, this piece I started 18 years ago after going to the next Society of Decorative Painters show in 2006. I came back and Fredericks had given us, some of us artists, some canvases to test on. And this is a watercolor canvas designed for you to be able to remove paint where you need to. So the background was done with very dark earth tones. There's a chestnut brown, there's wine and roses, all these really dark colors you see that are muted in the background. And then I went over the top with the purely pigments. But what if I wanted to add still a little dazzle? Why not take the Twinkling H2Os, because there's no real shimmer in this, right? Because the purely pigments are just pure color. And see if I can get, going to try to find where the heck did the kiwi go? Where the heck did the kiwi go? Okay, here's the kiwi. I have a pot of kiwi here. Now you can use wax paper as a palette. You can actually buy palette paper if that's something you wish to do. I have that palette paper from yesterday because the cakes are very concentrated. Okay, so say I wanted to add a little touch up to this piece here. And because we've already got that those great greens in there in the bottom, I was thinking about this as I was meditating, getting ready for the event about half hour ago. I thought, what if I take some of that kiwi, which, by the way, how many pots of kiwi do we have left? There's only 3 of these left, kids, if that's something that you want. And by the way, be gentle and kind to the moderators. If everybody says what they want at once, they can't catch up. So take your time, give the moderators time. But this is the kiwi. And like I said, you're never going to find a mica powder that color. I mean, this is just another testament to what primary elements are made out of. So because it's so concentrated, like I said, wax paper. This happens to be what they call palette paper. You can get sheets of it. And even yesterday, what dried up on the paper, if I put water on there, I can reuse that autumn butternut, right? So this is pretty strong the way it is. I'm going to add a little more water on my brush. And then I'm going to clean my brush off completely. So I've got kind of a nice dry brush to work with. And I want to see what happens when I try to glaze, basically glaze over the top. If this area right here with the kiwi, right? And so you can add the color that you want on there wherever you want. But the one thing about watercolors is they're so forgiving. So since this is a darker color, I might use it on the edge and then let that lighter green pop up. See, I'm rubbing it in with my finger. I just want an accent. But wherever I'm putting the Twinkling H2Os, there's going to be a little bit of shimmer left behind, a little bit of something behind to get excited about how pretty this looks. So there we do, most of them are made with interference. Interference is really soft. There's very few colors, and there's none, I don't think, here except maybe the icicles, but it's gone, that had any bigger flakes. Most of the Twinkling H2Os were designed to be able to do realistic watercolors so you could get the sheen of that hummingbird breast, or how the light hits and gleams on the petal of an iris, right? You get that little iris petal look. Now, this is not dry yet, so you're probably not going to see the shimmer in there, but there will be a little bit of shimmer in there, right, where I've added a little bit of the key lime and it's kind of intensified it. Now, when I get the ginger peach, I might grab it and add a little ginger peach here, but I know we want to get on with what colors we got. We've got a long broadcast ahead of us, and yesterday we ran out of time. But I wanted to give you an idea. Once I get to this point, I can do the final touches with my Copic pen to kind of map out at least where the veins are going to go, and go over with a brush if I want to. If I want to take the time to vein it, or I could do it with a marker. Or no, the autumn butternut, there was one left. And Sally she got one of, not Sally, you mean Patty Simmons got the autumn butternut. Did Sally order one too? That's good to know if Sally ordered. I know you guys are keeping track of it. I'm not going to argue with anybody because I'm talking, you're doing your mod work. So let me get this kiwi back over here. Okay, so autumn butternut is gone. But since everybody's talking about autumn butternut, now Kathleen McGee says, no, it's not gone. There was 2 jars. One went to Patty Simmons. I don't know who got the other one. Sally took one or didn't take one. Sally, did you want an autumn butternut? There seems to be a discussion between whether Sally wanted an autumn butternut or not. So Sally did get the last one. Okay. Well, since everybody's talking about it, what do you mean nobody? What's nobody, Kathleen? I don't understand what that means. Don't know what nobody means. Sally got buttercup. So there is one autumn butternut left. There was one left this morning. So if Sally got a buttercup, there is one autumn butternut left. And everybody's arguing over the last jar of autumn butternut. Yes, there's one autumn butternut left because Sally took a buttercup, not a butternut. There's our confusion. It's a little bit warmer than that nutmeg was yesterday. It's a warm brown with gold and red sparkle in it. And yesterday I didn't have it mixed up that well, so I knew I'd have a nice wet version of it today in case somebody wanted that color. So there is the autumn butternut. I'm just going to put a little AB next to this. No worries. We're getting it all together. Okay, now I'm going to run down the colors that we missed yesterday. There are a few colors that didn't really get a good day in the sun, but meaning they weren't really wetted down well enough for you to get a good representation. But one of the colors we didn't do yesterday was burnt umber. So here is the burnt umber large giant cake. Now don't be fret. Now mine has a little break in it. Don't fret if they crack on the way. Sometimes a little air hole pocket will form in the middle. We don't add any stabilizers or any chemicals to them. We want them to dry naturally. I think it's because I'm the kid that always put the paintbrush in my mouth to get the tip. And even though you think you've got it washed, paint can still get caught in the ferrule of that brush where the bristles go, and kids play with my paints. And so I wanted to make sure the Twinkling H2Os were as clean and green as possible when we made them. That also means that they wake up on that paint palette. They don't have a stabilizer. Now you're going to notice a big difference in the color of these two. There is your burnt umber. Completely different from that autumn butternut. So there is the burnt umber. And how many do we have of burnt umber? As of this morning, we had 23 left of the burnt umber. And now they're asking for Pam to put her list back in chat. Good. And John Scott Jones' list. This is fabulous. And I'm going to write burnt umber. Okay, next color has to be hands down. It was one of the original 24 primary elements we ever made. Yeah, icicles is gone. Yeah, if for some reason I find one, Joan, I'll let you know, because there could be a spare jar here in the house. I pulled some jars when I did that event on March 9th, and I run across an extra jar of tour stuff that wasn't on the list. I figured I'd wait till this all shuffled out in case I have to help us out and back it up. So ginger peach, while it looks like an orange, it is actually the darkest yellow in the world that we make. And it is on the list. I think we have 16 of them as this morning, and I didn't even show it off yesterday. So in this, I want to show you first what it looks like straight on the paper. You're getting what it looks like in its most concentrated, shimmery, shiny form. But the cool thing about the watercolors is what they look like when they're thinned out. And this one, see how much yellow is popping up as soon as that water hits it? Like I said, it is a very, 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 very dark yellow. But it can go all the way to a yummy, yummy, gorgeous orange, should you need that. See, and I love that little gradation. And actually on my piece, I was talking about adding a little pop of that ginger peach. I could do that right here. Going to give me a completely different look than what I've got. So I put some of that straight, pure stuff on, and now I'm taking a little bit of water and moving it around. And it's just going to add an accent. I don't have to cover the whole thing with it. I can give it just a little splash of color here and there. And because this watercolor canvas is so darn forgiving, it's designed for you to be able to pull color off and on. Actually, there's one lemon drop. Did somebody order the last one? So I'm taking a little bit of water and I'm spreading what I put up here down below. So just a little water is going to spread it out. And see how it's getting more yellow as I'm spreading this out? It will fade out, bringing in that lightened yellow, but still warm up this green below what little bit is left on my brush. So it's like adding icing to my painting. This thing's going to be pretty when it's done. And it will be for sale once I finally get it finished. I'll put it up and show you guys the finished piece. Of course, it may take me another 18 years. Right? So that is the I believe every one of those colors are available. Lucille just popped up some additional colors she'd like to add to her shopping bag. By the way, if this is the first time you've seen this broadcast, we're keeping track of people's shopping bags. So when they say they want something, we're starting a shopping bag for you. Oh, Fairy Art Mother got the last autumn butternut. Good girl. Fairy Art Mother, woman after my own heart. So I'm loving what the ginger peach did to my leaf there. I do the same thing over here. This little area here needs a little bit of dressing. I just put a little bit on, a little bit of that the strong stuff. I'm just going to take it and kind of move it around. Of course, if I'm tilting it, that's a mistake because then the water's going to run. But you get my point. I can go in here over this, and it's almost like adding a sparkly glaze to my piece. Now, you can do this to acrylic pours that have dried. It doesn't have to be a watercolor board. Think of this as just another color in a different medium. That's all it is. And so now as you see it's drying, you can see that delicate shimmer as it gets to that really light yellow. And of course, it's much darker where I didn't add the water. So that is your ginger peach. Next color is kind of an oddball color. When I got back from my show in 2006, I sat down, I made 60 brand new colors that I was inspired by taking all these watercolor classes. And of course, they had these grays and sap greens and interesting browns. Golden bamboo is actually a blackened yellow. I know you're going to think this is insane because it's definitely a weird brownie color, but it begins as a yellow. They're not on the website. They're not even going to know, Karen. They won't even be out till summer. I'm selling you my garage watercolors, what I had left over from the Society of Decorative Painters show. Now, if you notice, the golden bamboo has kind of a green undertone to it. When it hits that, you're going to go, is it brown? Do I see a little green cast? Ooh, Mike, there's a new shopping bag for Mike, unless he started when we started the broadcast. Looks like Mike G will take a ginger peach and a cyamed white. Yeah, it's also, it's got green in it. It's like a yellow green we've added black to with golden red mica. So if I thinned it out, now you see that green start to pop as I thin it out. You can tell that it's a yellow green that was blackened, and yet the pearls, the sparkle in it is red and gold. So it's a very interesting color. Not, I think, kind of misunderstood unless you actually use it, but it was so beautiful out of those 60 colors. Yeah, they were all made out of primary elements, and these were made 18 years ago. Yeah, Mark Cummings wants a ginger peach. Mark Cummings has specified that he wants a ginger peach. Actually, it's probably Liz doing that, if I'm right. And this is the golden bamboo. Golden bamboo. Okay. Now, yesterday there was a lot of discussion about the breast cancer colors, and I could not find a small pot like well-aged fine wine. Yeah. These were, oh, wow. Now, as this is starting to dry, you can see the interference red popping up. It's interesting as it starts to dry. Fairy Art Mother, that's Judy, would like a ginger peach. Fairy Art Mother would like a ginger peach. Yes, it was Liz. I'm figuring Mark's watching too. Mark keeps track of everything. So Good News Green. This was that breast cancer set color. It came out of the breast cancer set. It is a green, but there's a little bit of a blue cast to it. And the three colors that we had Dreams Bloom, Good News Green, and I forget what the other name. Oh, Lucky Apple. We only have the Lucky Apple and Good News Green left. Dream Spoon went yesterday. These have this Miraval base in them. There's just a really different base that we found. It was a glass derivative material. Looks like Sally Dalton also wants to add a ginger peach. So here is the Good News Green. Now you're going to see it looks like a green, but there's a green teal to it, sort of, right? And the Miraval that's in there, it's kind of a turquoise green Miraval that went in there. Again, we got this mineral that's made out of glass called Miraval, and we used it in this collection. And so it's really super, super, super sparkly and different. Okay, so that is the Good News Green. I think we only had, how many have left this morning? We only had 8 left this morning. So, and as it dries, I'll show you what it looks like drying, because you can already see the edges drying and it's starting to really lift up with that sparkle. You can see that sparkle as it's starting to dry for you. There's the Good News. Okay, now because Guatemalan green's kind of close, it could look, it on this paper, it might look close. Moderators, I am skipping to Hunter Gray, and then I will go back to Guatemalan green. So nobody lose their minds over this. I'm just doing this so there's a little color separation where I'm painting them so people can see the variety. Okay, this color is called Hunter Gray. Again, another one of those inspired from Society of Decorative Painters. So it looks like we have 11, and you may think you only use it for shadows, not necessarily so. Actually, most watercolor artists use violet and blue for shadows, but I made 2 grays. I made a Hunter Gray, which is a little bit darker, and then the Winter Mist Gray. And by the way, that is also a Miraval color. I forgot that the Winter Mist Gray also at one time was a Miraval color when we made these. It was a Miraval color. So this looks a little bit more like a pewtery type of steel color, very dark. See if I can get a little bit of looseness of it so you can see what it looks like as it's dried out. Some people that like that gray. Oh yeah, they're great for mixing. And when it dries, because we use an oyster base, you'll see a very subtle rainbow of all of them. Fairy Art Mother wants a golden bamboo. Fairy Art Mother has asked to have a golden bamboo add to her basket. Okay, we're going to put Hunter under here. So now you're going to see, even though one's called Guatemalan green and one's called Good News green, you'll see that one looks a little bit more greeny, like this one with that sparkle. This one is obviously a turquoise green. But if I put them side by side, it might be hard for the monitor to pick it up. So this way I could show you the Guatemalan green. I don't think we have, oh, we have 13 of these left. Oh my God, that's hard to believe. Of course, we didn't show it really yesterday. This is a Guatemalan green. Oh, I'm liking how that Hunter is drying with a really nice little sparkle, right? Yeah, it's a nice charcoal color. Now, even side by side, here to here at a slant, you can see how different these 2 colors are. But had I put them side by side, it would have been a little bit harder for your eye to see the variation. But you can see at the angle, this obviously is more of a turquoise green, and this is a sparkly Good News green. And I'll add up, wow, this is really pretty. Man, that's gorgeous. Add a little bit of water here to kind of pull it out. So as you're pulling out your Guatemalan green, you're going to see more and more of that turquoise pop up. Because when you're making turquoise, it's either green-blue or a blue-green, whichever direction you want it to take. So that is the Guatemalan green, very different from the Good News green. Gonna get this guat here. This is, I use it all the time. It was probably one of the original 36 colors, and it's a go-to I grab all the time. Turquoise is a great transitional color because I can go lime green, turquoise, purple, and put the turquoise in the middle. So this is Guatemalan green. Okay. I can probably get away with having this up here a little bit back in the back, but all right. Next color is iridescent gold. Now, it is the interference gold in a pot. Really great for blending and mixing in with other colors. At one time, we made all 5 interferences in the watercolors, and when we bring them back, they will be a standard because you can take 5 interferences and mix them with 12 watercolor or any of our colors and make oodles and oodles of variations just by having the interferences. So I know this pot has a little color on top, probably dropped it, but here's what the cake looks like. Yeah, that's a very old phone number. It won't work. And let's see how I still have a little blue on my brush, which will show up in this pot. Let's make sure this brush is completely clean. You know, that teal zircon's pretty strong. It still keeps coming out of my brush. Okay. Let's get this stirred up. Yeah. It's very fine interference gold mica put in a cake. Now remember the gold, silver gold, which I'll show you later, that bronze medallion. In the ultra fines like this, there's a lot of calligraphers that like to do the pen work. And I've had so many samples sent to me over the years of calligraphers saying, look what I did with your twinkling H2Os. And the metallics or the interferences, of course, are stunning when they send it to you on black paper. But this is the interference gold, and we have how many? I think we have 21 of these. Interference gold. Great for mixing with a lot of your other colors or lightening the shades of your colors. Looks like Medina, Michelle Marquis of Medina wants an interference gold. I'm just going to write I gold here because interference is too long of a word to write. All right, next up, let's get over to this section. I believe the next color we're looking for is key lime. Now I know I have oodles of pots around here. I just didn't stumble on a small pot that had already been used. I just so happened I had a big pot. I think I pulled this out for the March night event. This was one of the pots I pulled out for you. Now, unlike the kiwi, this has more yellow in it. It's going to be brighter, more yellow, similar to the citronella in the Purely Pigments or the Venomous Viper, kind of a. Fairy Art Mother wants a Guatemalan green. So here is your key lime. God, that's a pretty green. This is all I want. Interference gold and the Guatemalan green. Don't let you order anymore. Well, we can't, you know what, if you type and add something to it, Pam, we can't stop you, honey. So it looks like Michelle is going to take a key lime. I'm liking how that interference gold is already starting to dry here next to that key lime. Let's get that thing written down. Okay, this is going to be fun. Now, I did this intentionally. Moderators, don't get mad. Key lime and lucky apple were too close to each other in value, right? Remember, this is the breast cancer color thing. We did that special setup. This is the regular key lime we sold all the time. And even though we showed jasmine yesterday, it really didn't get a good view in the sun because the cake wasn't mixed up that well. You can tell now the cake has had plenty of time to get wet and get gorgeous for you and show you how pretty it is. And there's nothing more beautiful than a bright red violet like the jasmine next to a green yellow. Fairy Art Mother wants an interference gold. Fairy Art Mother wants an interference gold. So look at that next to the key lime. Holy moly, talk about eyeglasses alert. So that's the jasmine. I didn't think it really got a great representation yesterday. And I'm just going to add a little tiny bit of water in this one just to kind of see what it looks like, so you can guys get a little variation of it when it's thinned down a little bit more. Yes, be still my heart, honey. Those colors make my little heart sing right now this time of year. I mean, talk about needing sunglasses, John. This is pretty crazy combination, but I intentionally put the jasmine after that. You can see my rationale of splitting the colors up. Lucille would like to add a jasmine and a key lime. It looks like Lucille would like to add a jasmine and a key lime. I'll let Jasmine know you love her, Lucille. That's also the name of my kitty. I have a kitty named Jasmine. Now, this green, I think, belongs over here. Yes, it does. It does not belong in front of the lucky apple. So here is another one of the breast cancer colors. It's the one that contains the Miraval. It's called Lucky Apple. And how many are there? There's 9 right now. No complaints here. So it's a little bit darker than the key lime, right? But not quite as bright as that kiwi. If you looked at all 3 of them. Again, this is a special set we made for the breast cancer awareness group. And you can see how that has way more yellow in it than this. Yeah, this really looks like a bitter apple. The key lime does. This is so pretty. This lucky apple is just drop dead gorgeous. And that Miraval is glittering like crazy in there. I know that Judy had asked about which the pots we had left that were from the breast cancer. I don't know if Fairy Art Mother has seen this one yet, but yeah, you can just, those little Miraval specks are like diamonds in there, and because it's glass, it's so tiny and fine. But look how pretty this jasmine. I love this color combination right here. Pink and green are the birthday colors. I used to sing that as a little kid. I think there was a song like that. Pink and green are the birthday colors. This is Lucky Apple. Very sparkly. Yeah, digging that color. Okay, there's a Lucky Apple. All right, now we have another green, Mallard. It just happens to be in the alphabetical order. We did show it yesterday. I didn't really think we did a good representation. That's why it's ended up back in the row again. Actually, I think we did a great representation. I'm remembering how well it painted. So I apologize because I'm now painting it a second time here where it probably did a good enough job yesterday. You know, unlike the forest, which is really, really dark, this is kind of that mid-tone green. And there were a few people that took this color yesterday that wanted the mallard. I remember it well because I'm now thinking about how nice it painted. So that's all right. It wanted another chance to be seen. Actually, Karen, the thing is, don't get yourself hung up on the word watercolor. Just think of your painting with a different media. It's just got a different binder. That's all. That's all. I mean, you can touch up your acrylic pores. It paints the same. That's just, you put it on a paintbrush with a little bit of water and Yeah, Ogle watercolor and mixed media. John and Catherine Mefford. So do I confirm my order? Uh, yeah, Jonas wants to know if there's 11 colors on her list. I think John can maybe be able to answer that question. Joan is asking if there's 11 colors on her list. Wow, take a look. This is starting to dry really crazy. That lucky apple is starting to sparkle and shift right there. I like how it's doing that. Okay, I'm going to put this on the back, get ourselves another shot of paper. We're up to Mediterranean blue. Mediterranean blue. Lucky apple for Fairy Art Mother. Fairy Art Mother would like a lucky apple. So here is the Mediterranean blue. Ooh, it's got a lot of water in it. I don't want to dump it out before I get it stirred up. Ah, just tell him it's paint pouring. All you're doing is painting on the top of your paint pouring. It's no different. It's primer elements put in another binder. Ha. Just don't tell him, that it has to be a different media. It's painting, right? Just saying. Karen says I think it's Karen thinks that her husband would freak if she took up another media, because we know how much the paint pouring takes over. But I use these on top of everything. I've used them sandwiched in between my resin art layers. I mean, it's just another paint with a different binder. And I'm going to try my best to get you guys over that fear. So this is that Mediterranean blue, right? And we have, how many do we have? We only have 5 of these. These were picked up yesterday before I even showed them. Some people had seen them on the list and wanted them in advance. So there's only 5 of the Mediterranean blue, if I'm correct on that. Okay, now I'm hoping I've got these in the right order because I put them all in order, but we're still going down the M's. Okay, and then I have some P's. I think this row and then the last row is where we're heading to. Okay, so that's Med Blue. Next one is Mocha Rose. Now there's only 1 jar left. This was a neutral kind of tea stain color. There was a lot of popularity with making skin tones and neutral colors, especially the scrapbooking people used a lot of this color at the time when we had it out. It's called Mocha Rose. There's only 1 left. Someone just asked for a Med Blue. Kathleen McGee, you want a Med Blue? Or are you repeating that somebody wants a Med Blue, Kathleen? I'll shut up. If the moderator says something, then I should assume they're talking to somebody else. Even though yesterday Sherry did order a bronze for herself. So just trying to make sure that I'm giving everybody their fair due. Now, anything that's kind of these neutral colors, they're in an oyster base. They're very light neutral. You could start with this as a base of a skin tone and lighten it up. There's a color called Pink Cloud and Rose Petal here that was also in the skin tone neutral set. So this is the Mocha Rose, and there is only 1 left of Mocha Rose, and it looks like we are now down to 1 left of Mediterranean Blue. This is Mocha. Nice background color, nice neutral background color. All right, we have another green. Looks like it is moss green. Yeah, somebody I think it was Fairy Art Mother at one day said, do you realize how many greens you have, Leslie, in the entire line? And wait, you can't have enough greens. Yeah. We do have a lot of greens and a lot of blues, I think. So this is the moss. You can see kind of a very mid-range to light green. Pairs well with those darker greens. Add a little water to this and see what it looks like when I kind of pull it out. It's going to have kind of a mossy, almost a dirty underground to it because it's like moss, right? Moss has that mossy color to it. It's almost a brown tone, but not. Very earthy green. So there is the moss. Oh yeah, we got a couple greens in the row. This is going to be fun. Then there's a color called mustard green. Yes, Fairy Art Mother, I did make a lot of greens over the years. Now this has a lot of water in it. I'm a little concerned. I went a little bit crazy on the water, so I just dumped some of it out because the pot looks like it's definitely juicy. The colors come up so we can see it. Now mustard green is kind of similar what it sounds like. There's a lot more yellow in it, right? Not really a khaki, but it has its place. Yeah, it's kind of a yellow olive color. Oh my gosh. What are you doing, Patty? What are you doing while you're watching us? Are you going crazy knowing you own every one of these? Patty Simmons just said that. She ordered one of everything yesterday. Woohoo! Congratulations. Patty says she's submitting one of her pieces to an auction. I am so proud of you, girl. That is awesome. I thought maybe she was drooling over all the colors she's getting because she bought the full set yesterday. She bought one of everything we had left. This is the mustard. You can definitely see a difference between the moss green and the mustard. Thank you so much, Audra, for reminding people to give everybody a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Okay, now next color, I am going to give a little break. This is nutmeg. We were looking for this. Oh, it was burnt umber we couldn't find yesterday. That's right. This is the nutmeg. It's a kind of an all-purpose lighter medium brown. You know, where that chestnut's just a little bit richer. Yeah, Patty, that is fantastic. We are so proud of you. John actually, his work was seen at an art space that he and some people set up, and he's been invited to have 4 pieces at a major gallery in Washington, D.C. that he's shipping his stuff to. And you know what? I'm so proud of you guys because people are getting off their duff. They're no longer petting their paints. You're using them, right? You're using your paints. You're not petting them anymore. I love it. Let's get this. I'm going to spread out this nutmeg just a little bit more so you can see the value of it, the different values. Joan has 11 colors in her cart. That's what he just confirmed. This is nutmeg. Shopping bag, because it's not in the cart yet. There's really no shopping cart. Did Sheldon come in? Hey, Sheldon. We're having a live event selling these things online. These are my garage watercolors made 18 years ago for the Society of Decorative Painters event. And there's limited supply in some of these colors, but I think you might enjoy these. So this one is another one of my favorite, along with that Guatemala green, olivine. You know, out of all the greens, it was hairy for a while. Okay, everybody came on going, it was yesterday's live, people coming on with their list when they came in this morning because they wanted to make sure they didn't miss out. Okay, so this is olivine. Definitely in all of that. The side angle. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's better in order. Oh, there you guys, all you guys are a rock star. What you don't know is behind the scenes, John set up all these forms. Then this morning he calculated it so as we're putting your name under a color name, when he hits the sort button, all of a sudden it's going to sort uh, your order, your basic shopping bags for you. He's a whiz at that stuff, and he couldn't be on yesterday because he was getting his artwork ready for the installation. But we were so happy that he could be here today to help us. I know his time is tight, but John had a lot to do with setting up the forms that we're using now. This is the olivine. This is the olivine. And how many do we have? Olivine, we have, I got to turn the page over. 2. We only have 2 olivine left. And that's the first time showing it. Well, a lot of people pre-ordered that olivine. What can I say? Like I said, it's a go-to color for me. And of course, when I look at these, I'm looking at the olive versus the moss and the mustard. See, Fairy Art Mother, there was a reason why I made all those different greens. They all have a different look, right? I'm just kidding. She was teasing me about how many greens I had on my line one day. So I thought I would respond. Okay, yesterday, pink anthurium did not get a good day in the sun. There's only 4 of them. Pink anthurium. Where is the pink anthurium? Yeah, there's 4. Now what happens is when your watercolors, especially these big pots, say you got a bunch of water in it and they dry naturally on their own, the top will form almost what feels like a little bit of jelly. It's like the gum arabic but coming up to the top. So yesterday when I was trying to show you guys this absolutely fantastic deep curly pinky peach, you couldn't see it on the camera. It just wasn't painting. I mean, the pot is obviously has a lot of pink in it, right? But this in the hard pan, because not enough of the color had mixed up, it wasn't really showing up. I'm using the wooden end of my brush to kind of, what happened? Catherine Mefford, Kathleen, you lost me. Okay. The moderators are figuring out stuff between themselves. That's good. I'm going to get this done. So the pink anthurium, I think, is like, if you think of those really super bright tropical colors in Hawaii, this is that one. It's there. They have them in a hot, deep, deep pink. And then there's one that's the bright, bright red. This is kind of a pinky, corally color. And they're the ones that looks like it's got a big nose coming off the side. All right, so here is the pink anthurium. You guys just couldn't get a good gander at it yesterday. There just wasn't enough water in that pot so you could see what it looks like. And then if we thin it out, right, there is a lot of red to this. It's almost like a ginger flower color, but you can see that pink flash in it. Mark wants a pink anthurium, Hawaiian flower. That means there's only 3 left because we had 4 to start with. So Mark Cummings, Mark and Liz, they're together. They want a pink anthurium. Okay, I'm going to let this paper sit over here. I'm running out of spots to put my sheets. Get another one over here. Put the pink anthurium back in its spot. Everything has a home today, so I don't get lost. Next color on the list. This is a color called Pink Cloud. Now, this was also part of that skin tone neutral group, is the Mocha Rose. Miss Shelley, you might find this interesting. This and a color called Rose Petal were designed to like pink or peach up a face tone, or add a little blush of pink, say if you're using a color called almond beige. And we have a color called almond beige, which is really, really neutral. And then you just want to add a little blush. So this is it. There's a lot of water in this pot. Get some of it out of here. This is not like a normal pink. This is going to look so delicate. It's like you're putting a blush on a China doll. Okay. Hopefully it even shows up on the paper. You see how delicate that is. It's got a super delicate shimmer. If anybody's going to do faces or flowers that need that gorgeous, lovely little pastel sheen, like the petal turns and you can see that glistening look on the petal, that's what this is going to give you. It'll add that beautiful accent. Let me add a little more water to this so you can see it thin down because it's very, very sheer, almost like a makeup. But great for doing botanicals or any kind of faces. Because when you're doing botanicals, 3 gone today. So we only have 1 pink anthurium left. We only have 1 pink anthurium left, I'm told. 3 are gone. Okay, so this color was called Pink Cloud. And I believe that Michelle Medina wants one of the pink clouds. Okay, now we got to get to this top row over here. I'm getting my things moved over. I'm on the row here in the top. Now this is also some kind of color. Oh, pink grapefruit. Finally. Yesterday the cake was so hard you couldn't see it. Now you'll get a real gander what pink grapefruit looks like. This is pink grapefruit. A lot of gold mica in it. Very, very sparkly. Very color rich, pigment rich. Get this wooden end wiped off. And I'm going to just place it to another step down so we can put some color in between. That way you can see some variation. Now, obviously, this has a lot of gold in it. See that interference gold in there? Only 1 pink cloud left. See, I'm going to thin down your pink grapefruit just a little bit so you can see the variation of the pink grapefruit. And again, think of any of these colors, by the way, you decide you want to add more color. I realize it's hard to get a part of a drop of purely pigments, but at any moment you could put some color on a palette, and adjust it. But there is your pink cloud. There is your pink grapefruit. You guys now have the freedom to mix and create any color you want. No rules, no one telling you how to do it. Now, we did do poppy red yesterday. It was so popular. I didn't really feel the cake did well enough, but because it's in the row, I'm going to show it off again so you can see how beautiful this poppy red is. I don't know how many we have left, though. We sold quite a bit of them yesterday. Poppy red, we have 10 left. Okay. So it is a warmer red, in my humble opinion. I'm more of a middle of the road red. Some people like cool reds, and because it's pink and pink, again, I'm just going to put the poppy red down here. That way we have a little color separation. That is one bright red. There is the poppy red. Let's take a little water and give it some kind of little bit of thin it down a little bit so you can see what happens to it as it starts to get thinned down. It's pretty pigment loaded. You can tell how rich this thing is. So there is the poppy red. Apparently we now have 9 poppy red left. are 5 out of 13. You guys are keeping track of the counts. I'm only going to I'm going to speak up if somebody says they want something. I'm not going to mess with you guys' count. Medina will take a poppy red, John. Michelle Medina Arts will take a poppy red. By the way, if you guys haven't seen her channel, you really need to go check out her channel. Also, Sheldon is in the room. He has a fantastic channel, and that guy is one heck of a brush painter. But Michelle is now going to all the quilt shows in Texas. Oh, yeah, they're going to last. Well, it depends on how much you paint, Sandy, but you're right. See, now once I move, I'm going to do a wet section. I want to take like the chestnut brown and maybe guatemalan green and lay a whole bunch all over the canvas, twinkling H2Os, right? And then lay down fresh greenery from outside and let it form around, make those patterns out of the watercolors. I think it would be beautiful technique. And I know it can be done with the watercolors. I think people need to not get all hung up on the word watercolor and then say, oh my goodness, I never knew, I don't know how to control it. And until I took that class in 2006, I was kind of afraid. But after I learned their tips, where they paint, where they don't paint, they dry in between each petal. Oh my God, you have so much more control over that color now. It's attainable. Okay, so there is poppy red. We have 8 left of that now, I think. Yeah, poinsettias will be beautiful in that poppy red. Yeah, you can use these on fabric. Because her decorative fabric is not being washed in the washing machine. There's a disclaimer on that one, just so everybody knows. Okay, this color is called Rich Cobalt. And it is a very, 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 very rich. You're going to feel very patriotic when I put this down next to the red. But look at this incredible, insane blue. Can you see how insane this blue is? It's in violet blue pearls. Yeah, this is one gorgeous, gorgeous color. I feel like standing up and saying hi to the flag because now we have red, white, and blue on this, right? I'm feeling very patriotic all of a sudden. Yeah, this rich cobalt is one gorgeous blue. It's a dark, dark blue, but has a pop of the violet pearl in that. Close, a little bit of a Prussian, sort of, but it's more blue than the Prussian violet. But look as I'm pulling this out, a little bit more of the undercoat of those violet mica pearls are showing up. Okay, yeah, this is a great color, really beautiful color. Okay, so rich cobalt. We are at rich cobalt. Boy, we're making through these fast today. I'm so proud of ourselves, but I did organize with the crew, and then I sat and spent about an hour in here trying to make sure they were all in order with the form. Hey, Terry, I know you mentioned wanted something in the chat, but if you want something in your shopping bag, you need to tell them here. Just saying you want a bronze in the comments won't help you. So if you have something particular that you want, oh, you're going to love the Snapdragon. I haven't gotten that to that one yet, honey. We have a pot of Snapdragon here too, and Wine and Roses. Both of those are in the watercolor. So this color we're doing is the other one that was the skin tone color, that rose petal color. And it, again, for faces, neutral tones. Now, if you're going to notice, Michelle was looking at the pink cloud. See how this has a warmer tone to it? The rose petal has a cooler tone to it. So you've got the warmer tone and the cooler tone. It's almost like a platinum. It's very, very, very pale with just a blast of pink in it. But it's more of a cool pink, where this is giving you the warmer pink. right? There's only one rose petal. Well, then we have one rose petal left. That's true. We only have one rose petal left. Okay, so that's a rose petal. Thank you for letting me know. Thanks for that alert. I didn't even look at the quantity first. Thank you for covering my butt. So this is the rose petal. Rose petal. Let this thing dry up here. We're running out of space, but that's okay. I love getting these colors down. I haven't played with them in so long. This is so much fun just sitting here doing this with you guys. Okay, yesterday we went through the two purples, but for people today that didn't see it, this is the Royal Orchid. I know Dee grabbed one of these yesterday. It's the warmer violet. It's got a little bit more of a red tone to it. This is the Royal Orchid. Now, Snapdragon is too close to it running down the line. And yesterday, I think I made a mistake of showing them side by side because you couldn't really see the color value difference. So today, yeah, this is a really pretty color. I'm going to mix, this is straight solar gold. Remember how the bronze medallion behaved? This is straight gold in a pot. This color is called solar gold. As of this morning, there's 16 left. Quite a few have already been taken. Those people that took the bronze medallion, I'm sure a lot of them grabbed that. It is very gold. There's no question that you're going to get gold in this. This is the solar gold. Yeah, it's just a bright gold watercolor cake. So you're going to do details, accents. You want to do lines of gold. Joan, yeah, what we'll do is there are two different ways to do. I'm going to go in, create like an invoice, email it to you guys, and you can choose to, if you're in the United States, you can choose to pay by Zelle and save freight. If you're outside of the United States, we're going to have to just do a credit card payment. I'll send you an invoice to pay on, and if I have to do a manual credit card charge, I can for you. But I'll send you the invoice first that I create on the back end. I've already created a line item for the cake, so it'll come in like 12 cakes. Hopefully it'll let me list the colors. It may be just in the notes, the colors that are included, so we know we're packing them right for you. And then we'll have to charge you freight if you use the credit card because the bank takes 20% out of the transaction towards their line of credit. So I'm giving everybody a deal. If they pay by Zelle, we'll pick up the $10.40 freight in the United States to ship it. Overseas, sadly, you are going to have to pay for freight to get it there. Here is your solar gold. And I still feel like not doing the Snapdragon yet. I'm actually going to show you. I'm jumping to the spiced pumpkin so everybody can yell at me now. We decided they needed to be in order. But for the color separation, I want people to see the value difference between this and the Snapdragon when I put it down. I'll stop. You. Who's going to stop? Pam Debney. She wants a solar gold. She says stop, but she's going to take a solar gold. Okay. Pam wants us to stop. So here is a color called Spiced Pumpkin. It is a very, very deep red orange. Deep red orange. Beautiful deep red orange. Okay. And of course, next to the solar gold, it's going to be gorgeous. The Sherry Ellis, I know she's a class, but this should be her color. We should save Sherry a pot of the spiced pumpkin. She loves orange, and this is such a beautiful orange. I'll add a little bit of water to it so we can kind of pull some of it out. See what happens when we pull the color out. Yeah, that spiced pumpkin is absolutely stunning. Now, doing these invoices, you guys, going to be a challenge. I might be able to get a few done tomorrow before tomorrow's live, but more than likely, Sunday will be the day when I'm sending out everybody their paperwork, telling them what their amount is, and invoice for what they've asked to put in their cart. And we'll figure it out because Sunday I'm not on the live, so I'll be able to do a little bit of work on the computer for you. Okay. Now I'm going to put the Snapdragon out. I think Karen said this is one of her favorite colors. Yesterday when I did the Snapdragon and the Royal Orchid, you really couldn't tell the difference in the two because they were too close to one another. Add a spiced pumpkin to Mike G's cart. Please add a spiced pumpkin to Mike G's cart. So Snapdragon's more a middle of the road violet, where this has a lot more red to it. And I just felt it needed another chance to be seen today. Other than I'm wondering if there's a little red enough. Something's in that brush, and I don't know if it's leftover residue from the spiced pumpkin, but this is the Snapdragon. All right, back on track. Next color will be Sunburst. Sunburst yellow. Ooh, looks like the cake is starting to, I wet them good this morning. Sorry, I'm trying to get my brush clean so I don't have any purple to go in there. Yeah, we're gonna need a little more water. Just give it a tiny spritz. Get a little more water in our cake. There is that Sunburst yellow. And you can see it very different from the Solar Gold, right? So it's a bright high yellow. How many of these do we have? Sunburst yellow, we have 16 as of this morning. We only have 16 of these. Sorry, too fond of this. How do I? Oh, someone just joined us. Melody Israel. So sorry you just found us. So what we're doing, it's a Twinkling H2O event, and we're going to be doing it again tomorrow. Okay. And they're watercolors that we made years ago for an event. And we're going to sell them. I'll be sending an invoice for people to pay on credit card, or they're selling me the money. We're raising money for me to move. The landlord wants me to move after 19 years. And so we're raising capital for me to move. And these watercolors were made. Come back, and I really recommend you watch the beginning of this broadcast. It will explain what we're doing. And if you have a chance, Melody, watch yesterday's broadcast too. And then if you want to get a hold of me, you can text me at 559-326-8718. Tell me what you want dibs on. As we're doing this, though, we're telling people what we have left. So this is Sunburst. And Sunburst, we have 16 left. There are 16 Sunbursts left. So they're basically a watercolor cake in a big, giant pot, Melody. Big, giant pot. These are 30 ml jars. And they all have an iridescence to them. They give you an idea what we're doing. Well, I'm loving how that golden bamboo is drying with that red shimmer. Remember, it said it's got a red gold shimmer in that golden bamboo. And then there's that Guatemalan green. That's so pretty next to it. Okay, let's get this going. And you're going to need another sheet for colors. And we're almost done. We're almost down to the bottom of the sheet. Let's put our sunburst yellow back. We got a color called teal zircon, which should be self-explanatory. How gorgeous this color is. This is what the cake looks like. Sorry, there's a little stain on the bottom of it. These are these cakes. These were made 18 years ago, Melody. I don't know if she's still here, but at least I wanted to answer her question. Anybody new popping in is going to go, what are you guys doing? So here's a teal zircon. And let me flip this over. How many do we have of these? There wasn't very many. There's only 4 left. As of this morning, there were 4 teal zircon left. See, this cake really didn't get wet enough for me. Come on, pull up the shimmer for me, buddy. I didn't get enough water in this. But I think you can get an idea. This has the nice blue shimmer from the blue mica, where the Guatemalan green has the shimmer from the green mica in it. And then also you can really see the color difference when they're side by side, Guatemala green versus teal zircon, right? So the teal zircon, there is only 4 left as we speak. Okay, and the last few, we've got yellow rose, wisteria, wine and roses, and I believe there's one last. Oh, the winter mist gray. Now, I'm going to apologize in advance. I just couldn't bring myself to wetting this cake down. There's only 2 out in the garage because that one's taken. I found this other one in here. Now, these were also, this little one was also made with that Miraval in it. You can kind of see the sparkle. At the time, we were using a Miraval mix in the Winter Mist Gray to make it different. But I am not going to swatch this. I'll just talk about it because there's only 2 cakes left in existence. And this is, one extra one. So I don't want to do that to anybody. Okay, let me put the name here. This is teal zircon. All right. Now, just so you know, when the broadcast ends, because we're almost done here, the crew's going to get me your list, what everybody's asked for. I will, in the next 24 hours or sooner, I'm going to have to let me take a break and get some food here. We'll send you some paperwork and invoice on. I've already had people trying to sell me money in advance, and I think it's smarter that you let me actually send you an invoice that says ColorArte is sending you 10 watercolor cakes, 10 Twinkling H2O cakes. That way everything's super clean. But okay, wine and roses. Who was it, Karen? She said that wine and roses is one of her favorite colors. Was that you, Karen? You said you liked wine and roses, and I forget what the other color was. And then this morning, I think it was Pam. Was it you that got it as a gift? And now it's like one of your favorite colors. I can see why. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous color. You can see why it's got its name, Wine and Roses. And there are only 8, to my knowledge. Possibly 9, but it could be 8 or 9. Someone's going to have to confirm for me. But there's not very many of these left because there were some that were already gone before we started. So there's your wine and roses. I'm going to just kind of give it a little bit of a pull, kind of pull that color down. 6 left, so there's 6 wine and roses left. 6 wine and roses left. Oh, it's gorgeous when I'm going to put it next to this yellow rose. Yeah, people don't think of putting like a yellow orange next to a wine color, but the contrast is hard to miss, man. Here's a yellow rose. We showed this off a little bit yesterday, but the cake wasn't as beautiful and molten as it is right now. There's 35 of these left, I think, unless I got my number wrong. But take a look at this bad boy next to that wine and roses. This is your yellow rose. Oh, the yellow rose of Texas. Dee, dee, dee. And say every time I say that name, I want to sing that song. So here is the yellow rose next to the wine and roses. And last but not least, like again, I'm not going to wet this Winter Miss Gray because if somebody actually wants it, I don't want to ruin it. Okay. Like I said, it's a much lighter gray than that Hunter Gray in the Miraval mix. So the final color I'm going to show you guys today is Wisteria. Now, Wisteria is a violet in green pearls. You remember yesterday when we showed off the lemon drop? And it was the yellow in the green pearls. Well, this is a purple in the green pearls. Shannon Allen wants a yellow rose. Shannon Allen wants a yellow rose. And how many wisteria we have? Oh, we only have 2 of these. Okay, so you can kind of see from the cake, it looks a little bit different. See if I can get enough here on the brush so you guys can see the green mica. Yeah, it's an interesting color where it's a purple in interference green. Probably not going to shift quite as hard as the lemon because purple and green is kind of it's a strong way to get across the color wheel, where adding green mica to a yellow, they're already kind of on the same side of the wheel. But here is the, he said wine and roses. Wine and roses would be gorgeous blended into this. Speaking of that, since this is the last color, have a little fun and kind of mix this into the wine and roses and see the gradation between these two. Beautiful when they mix into one another. So this is the wisteria and wine and roses marking into it. Mark Cummings wants a wisteria. Liz and Mark want one of the last wisterias there are. I believe that means we only have 1 wisteria left in the house. Yeah, it's got an interesting shift. So is that the last one? Are we down to the last wisteria, or are they all taken? Yeah, and when you see it mix, it graduates into another color. It really, really, really pops. Fairy Art Mother wants a wine and roses. Fairy Art Mother wants a wine and roses. So, is there any other colors you would like me to show again? Terry Lechner wants a Siam white. Didn't you also want a bronze, honey? Maybe I got that wrong from yesterday's. If there's any other colors that you guys want me to go back, repeat, and show again, something or wisteria, somebody wrote something or wisteria, let me know. Because now you guys are having a chance to think. I don't want to just end the broadcast while everybody's kind of muddling over what they want to do. There's 1 wisteria left. Okay, and if there's a color you need me to show again, I will. But would you show all the dry colors from yesterday? I am not sure where all the sheets are from yesterday. Here a minute. Okay, so here we go. Yesterday we had mallard, yellow rose, teal zircon, kiwi. There was the 2 purples. There was the Siam white. Oh yeah, just show it all. This was that buttercup, the bronze, the baby's breath, the what was it? Autumn butternut. Dreams Bloom, which is no longer available. Coral Berry has a pretty interesting shift on that one. I think this was the chestnut. It's hard to tell. And then the cherry sorbet. Oh, this was that jasmine. Do we still have a lemon drop left? I believe there was one lemon drop that could have been taken because this is that lemon drop. There was the poppy from yesterday. Now, these didn't really show that great a representation because the cakes weren't mixed up that well, so I did them again today, but this is that dark forest green from yesterday. And then today, we've got the Mediterranean blue with the mocha rose, the moss, mustard green. Mark and Liz want a coral berry, the nutmeg, the olive vine, and now I'm trying to remember what color this was. This is that pink anthurium. Oh my God. Now see what's happening with the pink anthurium? Like I said, this is such a flashy color, but it shows up so dark in the pot. So none left of the lemon drop. Sorry, folks, there's none left of the lemon drop. Okay. This is another color that we did today. So this was the pink cloud, the rose petal, pink grapefruit, rich cobalt, poppy red. If you wanna, you can try, Terry. Sally Dalton's been working on that project. And but we're never going to make these again in 30 ml jars. So these are just a very this is a very special rare run. This is that Royal Orchid, Solar Gold, the Spice Pumpkin. As you can tell, is still drying. This is that Yellow Rose, the Wine and Roses, Teal Zircon. And of course, I'm loving what that wisteria is doing, running into that, because you can see the green kind of going over the Wine and Roses there. And then here was the original one with the Autumn Butternut, Burnt Umber, Ginger Peach, Golden Bamboo, and that red is really popping up in the Golden Bamboo. This is that Guatemalan Green. It's such a pretty color. That Deep Hunter Gray and the Good News Green. And that is every color. Now we're going to continue to take people's information. You can email me at Leslie Ohnstad, ohnstad.art@gmail.com. You can text me what you want at 559-326-8718. I'll have to send it to John. We'll add it to the bag, and then we'll put together the paperwork Saturday night or Sunday morning, because my Saturday live tomorrow is very early. Now, I may leave these up for a third day just so people ask, but I am going to have to try to have some kind of project we can do too. Shannon wants to add a Guatemalan green and a kiwi to her order. Shannon wants to add a Guatemalan green and a kiwi to her order. And Terry Lechner would like to add a solar gold to her order. Terry Lechner would like to add a solar gold to her order. So you guys can stay in contact with me. If there's something you decide to change your mind, go back and watch the replays. What if there's something you want to watch and you missed? You guys sit down and Liz and Mark are kind of deciding colors together, right? So this impulse thing at the moment when we're showing it, sometimes people need to noodle things over. So noodle what you've seen the last 2 days. Decide if this is the final list. It looks like Mike G wants the last wisteria or the second to the last wisteria. No, I think that's the last wisteria, I believe. I could be wrong. We only had 2, and I believe both are gone. So noodle over what you've seen the last couple days. Let me know. We will be on tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get John to help me tomorrow morning, but if he happens to be on and he happens to have his, there's only 1 kiwi left, huh? Kathleen says she's reporting there's only 1 kiwi left. That is a very stunning color. If it's something that you want, remember that kiwi was really gorgeous. Anyway, yeah, you can do that. You can do that. Go for it, Terry. I've been telling people for years how to make their own, but the majority of the public They like things made for them. Anyway, I appreciate everybody joining me. I can't believe there's 34 people here. You got the wisteria from Mark and Liz, right? They got the last pot of wisteria, John. I'm excited too. And then I'm going to have to get someone over here to help me bag these up and get them organized. I'm still having the back spasms, but we're doing fine. We're going to get these bagged up, and we'll get our crew to ship these out. They may go this Thursday, but more than likely somewhere between this Thursday and the next Thursday, because I don't go to the office where my crew is. We see each other every Thursday, and but that's okay. That doesn't mean I can't leave orders on the porch and say, hey, I got 10 orders for you guys to pick up, and they'll come pick it up midweek. Anyway, I hope you have a beautiful day. So glad that I can see you. I have no place for Patty. I wish to God I don't even have a couch for someone to sit on this. I basically live and work in a lab, but I love that you're in Sacramento. That means when it's time for me to move, Miss Simmons, you may need to come down here and help me set up my new house. Right? Right? I know that Sandy Sanders, and she's in Sacramento, said, let me know when you're moving. I want to help you. So, Sandy, you're a sweetheart for offering that. She may not still be offering that, but you did say that on the phone. It'd be more fun of the moving in than the moving out. I love nesting new people in. You'd like the gray. So, Fairy Art Mother wants one of the Winter Mist grays. There's only, I think, 2 or 3, and that's it. Oh, Colorado. Sandy's in Colorado. But for her to offer, I said, how are you going to get there? She says, I'll fly. Okay. So we may be having a moving party, and maybe some of our ColorPlay fans can meet some of the other people that we never get to see on camera. Yeah, Mark and Liz want to confirm they got that last pot of wisteria before it's gone. So John, or John or Kathleen, yeah, there's one of the Winter Mist Gray left, but please, someone confirmed that the last wisteria went to Mark and Liz, because we had 2 left. Someone took 1, and the last ones go to Mark and Liz. So, John, can you confirm that? They got the last 2 wisteria? They only wanted 1 wisteria, right? You're a sweetheart, Sandy. Sandy says anything she can help, my dear. All right, guys, I just want to make sure that you guys, because I don't have much more to present, but if you have communication with our anchors, we want to make sure all of this is set in stone. Thank you so much, Karen. I really appreciate you showing up. And yeah, noodle it over. I'm leaving this setup like this tomorrow. I'll probably be painting with some of these, but I think because people may want to follow up. Oh man, this is drying. This. Oh, I'm sorry, Kathleen. Liz and Mark are one and the same. Cummings, yes. Wisteria went to Mark Cummings, which his wife is Liz. Sorry, Liz and Mark are one and the same when we're on the group. But look at how that's drying. I can't believe how cool that is drying, that wisteria or the wine and roses. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Thank you to our moderators. We really appreciate everybody jumping in to help. A fantastic effort. And hugs and kisses, everybody. Hope you have a beautiful day. Bye, guys. Hugs and kisses.